Dark mode enabled. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dark Mode, the live podcast. Hi, Jane.
Hello. Hi, Heather.
How are you, my dear?
I am great.
I'm awesome as well. We're going to be getting some snow, which
I
is
hope so. They keep saying we're
exciting.
going to, but I haven't seen shit. Sorry, can I say that on podcast?
Yeah, drop me in. Hi. Our podcast, Dark Mode Live, is explicit.
Hi,
I clicked the
Annalie.
little explicit button when I upload.
That's probably for the best. We
Probably
just
for
like
the
to keep it
best.
colorful here at Dark Mode.
This is
So today we are talking about demystifying digital marketing compliance. Womp womp. It's not exciting stuff, but there's a lot of stuff happening around us in our peripheral. There's stuff happening directly to us. And Heather, you are going to have to be the one to explain all this. Like, I know enough to be dangerous, but when it comes to nitty gritty, I feel like I'm going to lean on you a lot for this one. So,
I love the data privacy conversation because I'm such a huge nerd when it comes to data anyway, and analytics and analysis. So this is going to be a fun conversation.
but
But
first,
yeah, but first,
catching up with complexities.
with you, girlfriend.
Well, not a whole lot, but I'm going to give a shout out to one of my clients today, Exceptional Care for Children. They are actually 5 minutes from where I live, and they held a bingo on Saturday. And, I'm thinking maybe 25, 35 people are going to show. It's going to be a super aggressive game of bingo, but no. There's 150 people there. There's no
Oh my
parking.
god.
But they had like super helpful about the entire event was beautifully organized. I show up, there's a million people. I find Emily, I sit down, and they're like, "You don't have a dabber?" I'm like, "My God, I don't have a dabber. What kind of bingo player am I?" So, Peggy, this is a shout out to you for lending me your dabber in the
Nice.
color green, of which I didn't win anything. But they
Oh
were giving
wow.
away designer bags and jewelry and AirPods, and it was like incredible, and they've raised over $10,000. So
Oh
I will
my
be
god, no
going
way.
again. It's so great. And I had a hot dog.
Oh my god, dude, I love that so much.
People were bringing like their own like cheese and vegetable trays, like
Oh
they were
wow.
at a picnic or something, or they were tailgating. It was amazing.
Dude, that sounds amazing. That sounds
Yeah,
delicious. Well, I haven't had a hot dog in forever.
I know. But hey, isn't season 2 of the Into the Black coming out soon?
Yes, yes, yes. And I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, I kind of might like want to have you on as again. I don't know because you're just a
Again?
great guest. I don't know. I just love you.
Thanks.
Um, but yeah, what's going on with me? Let's see. Yes, season 2 of Into the Black coming up. If you want to be a guest and you live in Delaware or in the Philly area, it's on location. So shoot me a DM. I don't do the Zoom podcast. I like to have it in real life because why not, right?
Yeah.
Um,
People want that anyway now. Like they're tired
yeah.
of virtual. I am not one of those people, but I've had my moments.
Right. And then let's see, Real Calm in June. Real Calm at IBCon is happening in Savannah, Georgia this year. So I'll be,
Beautiful.
yeah, so I'm excited too because I'm going to be taking a train down, which is going to be
Oh,
awesome. Because I did the train last year to Florida, so now I'm taking another train down to Savannah, Georgia, and that's going to be cool.
how long is that train ride, you
It's like a
think?
10-hour train ride, which I don't care. I'd rather be on the ground than in the sky right now,
That's for
honestly.
that's true.
No,
That's
thank
true.
you.
No,
And
thank you.
then Heather Cox Coaches has launched, which
Oh yeah.
I'm super stoked. So we have Heather Cox Codes, which is all about social media and WordPress website design. Then we have Heather Cox Creates, which is the content creation side of things. And then we have Heather Cox Coaches, where I take my experience as a 15-year business owner, second generation business owner, and family of entrepreneurs, and help you with your business and kind of help you. What's the next product, what's the next thing, what's the next step do you need help with, your processes or your analytics or hiring or
Contracting.
yeah.
Those ones.
So I'm super excited about that.
That's really cool. And a
Um,
lot of people need that. Like my dad was an entrepreneur, but if he wasn't, I don't know if I would have ever thought that this was even an option.
Honestly, thank God for our parents who were entrepreneurs. My mom is an entrepreneur. Is your dad still an entrepreneur?
He sure is.
There you go. So thank you for, I guess that's one thing we can thank the boomers for.
Thanks, boomers. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mom. Thanks, dad. Um, but yeah,
So,
let's get into this conversation about the demystifying of digital marketing compliance. I know digital marketing and compliance is so boring, but it really is necessary right now, especially with the way the internet is going.
yeah, and you know what the craziest thing is? It's like all these things you've opted into, like Google Analytics, they all have these rules you have to follow, and how many of us are actually following them? Zero.
Yeah.
Okay, 5%.
Right. Nobody really is going to be reading the terms and conditions when they sign up for an iPhone or for a social media platform. Um, it is good though for those who are digital marketing strategists to keep their ear to the ground and their
Yeah,
eyes on the news when it comes to these sort of things, because a lot of the time you'll see news articles come out that show that, hey, Facebook has updated their terms of service and here's some like crazy shit that's in there, right?
yeah,
So you really want to stay ahead of that if you're in digital marketing, websites, newsletters, social media. You really want to make sure that you are keeping up with all of the changes.
yeah.
One of the biggest changes was the purchasing of social media bot accounts and followers and engagement. You're not allowed to do that anymore.
Ha!
Right? Finally.
I
Good
got
Lord.
vindicated.
Like, and it's so funny because like you can see who purchases their followers, right, Jane? Like we have softwares for that. And
Yeah, yeah, like they're not really active at all. Number one.
so I'm going to throw a little shade. There is a content creator who I met on this platform of Clubhouse, and this is where we're recording. And thank you so much for joining us here on Clubhouse if you're listening. And make sure you listen to the replay coming up on darkmodelive.com. But I will throw a little shade. There's this one creator here who has like supposedly over 1 million followers on Instagram,
That's a lot of followers.
right? But I went on a live with this guy, and let me tell you, two people showed up to the live. Two people.
Oh no.
If you have 1 million authentic, real followers like Gary V does, you are gonna have more than two people show up to a live.
Yeah, look, I got 3 friends on Clubhouse, and look, we got 2 people in the room.
Right. You know what I mean? Like we honestly, it's that simple. So when
Yeah,
I was like that happened, I thought I was like, "Oh man, I'm going to get like all these followers. I'm so excited to be on this." No. Mm-mm. Two people showed up. I was like, "That is bonkers." So you need to
bonkers.
make sure that you look at people's followings before you even collaborate with them. Period. Period.
Yeah.
But that's here nor there. So one of them, that was one of the guidelines that was added and changed in regards to the following. You know, you basically purchasing followers, likes, engagement, reach. But one of the biggest basically compliance things for digital marketing for social media. Now there's multiple things here. There's social media, there's newsletters, there's UGC, there's your
Website.
website. Yes,
Yeah.
there's all these different things. So I'm going to go over a few of the guidelines that are out there and your actionable tip that is going to help you kind of make sure that you are in compliance when it comes to your digital marketing. So, the first one is the FTC guidelines require clear disclosures if social media posts to maintain transparency in regards to ads. So, if let's say I'm drinking a cup of coffee that was sponsored by Dunkin', and I don't put hashtag ad or specifically state that they paid me to make this content, that is an ad. So you need to make sure that you are using a standardized disclosure phrase like hashtag ad or sponsored on every promotional post. That is very
And
important.
this includes referral links too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thirsty. Next.
I was like, I know that one.
Right. The next one is consent for social media contests and data collection. People don't think about this when they run a social media contest. Privacy regulations such as the GDPR and CCPA mandate explicit consent when collecting data from social media contests to protect user privacy.
Mm.
So you need to make sure you include an opt-in checkbox and a brief explanation of data usage in your contest entry forms. That is
Okay.
also very important because data privacy is so, that is, I think, one of the biggest, that's going to be the biggest booms. I think the next biggest boom of technology is data privacy software and technology. Um, and I say that because Delaware actually just came out with a privacy law that is on your compute well on for your website, or if you collect any type of data and you're functioning in the state of Delaware, they have a new Delaware Data Privacy Act that basically states that I can request a company delete my content, or if they don't have a privacy page or a GDPR in place, which is a cookies opt-in, then
Mm. Yeah.
people in Delaware and Delaware businesses could take a hit, right? You can get sued at this point.
Yeah.
So next is user generated content, UGC. Those are the UGC permissions. Copyright laws and ethical standards require obtaining permissions before repurposing user generated content to avoid legal complications. You can basically get sued if you are not giving credit or even asking for permission. You may think that asking for or just giving credit is enough, but it's not. You need to make sure that you are getting permission that clearly outlines how the content will be used and securely archive the consent. Also, I see that Wawa does this a lot. If Wawa is posting, or let's say that I posted my cup of coffee from Wawa, I guess I'm drinking coffee now. All these coffee
Nice.
examples.
Okay. Welcome to the dark side.
I know,
Haha,
right? I
pun
haven't drank
intended.
caffeine in like I think almost a year now.
Yeah.
So
Not me.
I know
Caffeine it up.
you love your caffeine. I'm kind of jelly still, but
It works for me.
so let's say I'm holding a cup of Wawa coffee
Hmm.
and Wawa takes that content and just repurposes it. Well, they didn't get my permission. So you need to make sure that you are getting clear permission and consent to use that content. And Wawa will post and comment underneath the post and say, "Hi, we would love to use this photo for our content or our social media. Please reply back hashtag yes to Wawa." And then it basically gives permission out in the public domain. So then they
I
can use that
love
content.
that.
Yeah.
And real fast, guys, this doesn't include stock images that you've actually purchased, so long as you're following the license. And
Mm-hmm.
the only time that you might need to buy an extended license would be if like you're publishing a lot of copies, like books or magazines
Yeah.
and things like that. Yeah.
No, I love that. I that's really smart. And all, but then you got to be well, yeah, yeah. I was thinking about Canva, and if you have like the pro version, then you get all those stock photos anyway.
But
So,
no, this is legit because a lot of people just take crap off the internet. They have
yep.
since the 90s, but the memes, technically the people who made the memes owns the copyright. So you never
Right.
know, like if you make it big, if they're going to come after you because they have the right to.
Right. Yeah, that is also true. I never even thought about the meme world. Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Ooh, disclosing AI generated content. That
Mm.
is huge.
How do you feel about that, Heather, honestly?
I mean, I'm okay with it. And it was actually really funny. Okay. So I have a client and they are a conference group. And I was so annoyed because somebody left a water bottle on an empty chair, and it was a group photo of like the audience. And so I removed the water bottle from the chair using my Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop,
Yeah, yeah.
and I then uploaded it to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn recognized, for I don't know how, but it recognized that I altered the image with AI and it put
Mm.
a label on it. And I was like, "Oh snap, like how does it, number 1, how does it know?" Like maybe it's downloading a signature once I download it to Adobe from Adobe. I don't know, but
Mm.
it
Yeah.
it labeled it on its own. I had also uploaded it with 2 other images that I did not doctor or edit, and it only labeled that one. So I was like, "This is really, really interesting." So, but regulators and audiences expect transparency when AI tools contribute to content creation to maintain trust and ethical standards. Also, make sure that disinformation does not get spread. So,
Yeah. Gosh.
yes, like there's, when you upload an image to Instagram, it asks you if this is AI. You need to put an AI label on it. And let me tell you, like I'm on Instagram and half the time there's no label, and I exactly know that that image was created by AI. I knew that, but I don't
Yeah.
see any label on it. So I just find it quite funny that like there are these labels that we can put on them, but nobody really, and like Instagram doesn't enforce it. So I think that might be a little issue. But
Yeah.
if you want to be on the right side of things in regards to AI content creation and images, you can add a disclaimer to any of your content produced or assisted by AI saying this content was generated with AI assistance. If you really want to.
Yeah.
It does That's not really the norm, but it seems as though that these platforms are now starting to label images that are doctored or messed
Well,
with when
a
it comes
hundred bucks,
to
they won't know mine's AI because I'm
AI.
insane. Because I don't leave it as is. I never use it as is. So if they mark something as AI, I'm coming for them. I'm like, yo,
That's
AI did
right.
like 5% of that work.
I know.
95% was me.
I love it.
Anyway, that's fine. I'm okay. I just want to give credit where credit's due, is all.
I know, yeah, I feel that. Let's see. Transparent AI data handling. So, data privacy laws require that you clearly communicate how AI tools collect and use data, ensuring
Mhm.
users remain informed and protected. So, make sure you update your privacy policy to detail AI data processing practices and offer clear options for users to opt out of such data collection.
Yeah.
So, currently, Facebook, I think it's Facebook and Instagram, maybe even X, they put themselves, or they basically said that all of the content that is uploaded to their platforms are now being used to train their AIs. And you need to opt out of that if you don't want that to happen. So they didn't really give a clear option. A news article came out, and that's why I said at the top of the room, like, keep your ear to the ground with news because you never know what's going to come down the pipeline in regards to policies and of the like. So make sure again that you're putting a privacy update your privacy policy to detail AI data processing practices.
Yeah, and there's definitely generators online where you can kind of get
Yes.
started, but there's also, of course, most of them are paid, and there's one called Termly, and that
Love
one
that.
allows you to create a free one that has like the GDPR compliance,
Yeah.
embedded policies, cookie policy, and banner stuff. And the cool thing is that it always keeps it up to date. So whenever someone changes its terms, it'll automatically update yours.
Oh
So which
wow.
is cool, but also, I feel so far removed from this legalese. It's always best to go to your attorney. But for those of you who won't, people like me, um, you still want their stuff to be layman's terms, feel free to whatever. But now you can get sued. So, and I'll actually
Yeah.
show you some companies that get sued later on
Oh my god. Can you put that link in the chat? That would be awesome.
for sure.
Thank you. The next is, so now we're kind of moving from AI to newsletter consent. Regulations
Mm,
like CAN, spam, and GDPR require verified consent from subscribers, making double opt-in processes essential for compliance. People are getting sued left and right because that they are just scraping the internet of emails and purchasing lists and putting them on newsletters, and then just bulk sending out these newsletters without basically having this double opt-in, and they're getting sued. And it's basically a lucrative business at this point
yeah.
to sue anybody who has a newsletter who purchased or scraped a list. So make sure you implement a double opt-in process by sending a confirmation email to new subscribers to verify their interest and record their consent. um, I had a problem with my daughter's school where apparently I had to every year either consent or not consent to her photos being used on the internet for their
Oh,
marketing.
oh,
And I did not even know that they require it every year to update it. They also did not, I don't think they explained that to anybody. I had to call specifically when I found out that her choir concert was going to be uploaded to YouTube. And
mm,
I do not consent to that shit. So, yeah, I'm going to be currently emailing them again and be like, we need to do a little bit of double opt-in for that. So double opt-ins are, it's there to protect you, right?
yeah,
So next, the newsletter content transparency about how subscriber data is used in newsletter builds trust and aligns with privacy regulations. So include a brief note in each newsletter that explains data usage and provides a direct unsubscribe link along with a reference to your privacy policy. Honestly, like transparency and giving that information up front is really going to bode well with your readers, and they'll trust you more, especially now that data is kind of like the new currency, honestly,
yeah.
at this point.
Has
I
been for
will
20
leave.
years,
I know.
but now everyone knows about it.
Exactly, seriously. Website cookie and tracking consent laws like the EU cookie law and GDPR require websites to obtain explicit user consent before tracking data. So deploy a comprehensive cookie consent banner that clearly outlines the purposes of cookies and offers users the choice to accept or decline non-essential cookies. There's a simple plugin on WordPress. I forget. I think it's like something, I don't know, something like GDPR cookies or something. I don't remember, but you just dropped that link in the chat, right?
Yeah, for the
Termly.
terminally.
Yeah. Okay.
Termly. There you
Yeah.
go.
So if you guys want to check that out, that will give you GDPR, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then the one last thing I will say, make sure you do regular data privacy audits on your website. So ongoing changes in data privacy laws make it crucial to perform regular audits to ensure your website remains compliant and secure. So that Delaware Privacy Act, um, that just happened in January 2025, last month. So
Mm,
if I didn't hear about that, then I wouldn't be able to tell that information to Delaware business owners or even update my own websites. So make sure that you do those data privacy audits and schedule quarterly audits using privacy compliance tools to review and update your data practices and policies as needed. So those are all of my tips and actionable tips in regards to digital marketing compliance. Real quick summary: social media disclosure and transparency, consent for social media contests, UGC content permissions and moderation, disclosing AI generated content, transparent AI data handling, newsletter consent and double opt in, newsletter content transparency, website cookies and tracking, and then make sure you do your audits. So, Jane, I know I said a lot, but I know you have a lot more because you are kind of head first into a lot of the like the SEO compliance stuff and the website stuff. So
yeah.
can you talk more about that?
Yeah, and from an accessibility point, if you follow the ADA compliance, then you're going to be ahead of the game for sure. So if your website, and by the way, people get sued all the time for not having an accessible website that people of
Yes, they
vulnerabilities
do.
can
Yes,
view.
they do.
And I'll go over a couple of them, but make your website easy to use. If your fonts are large and illegible, and so you can use cursive, but it has to be a highly readable cursive font unless it's used in like small increments. And you want to keep it high contrast as well. Um, you want to maybe provide alternate text for images. And this is really great because people who are blind obviously can't see this beautiful landscape that you have put out there. So the more descriptive you can be, the more experience that you can give them. include captions or transcripts for videos. So that way, if people don't have their headphones on, they can still partake and consume your content.
That's a
And make
really
it,
good one.
yeah,
Let's not
yeah,
go over
yeah,
that one too much, like go quickly, because that one, I feel like a lot of people forget that part.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's really
Me
important.
included. Me included.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah,
it is really important, especially now. And I mean, like, look, I have kids, and it's good for accessibility, but also sometimes I want to watch my TikTok with the volume off.
yeah,
So, and then I can read what is happening, so my kid doesn't like be all nosy all up on my phone. So it helps multiple ways, just saying.
yeah. And all that takes a lot of work. I get that, but if you do quality over quantity, which is our motto this year, thanks, Kelsey, then do it. Because we just the pace in which we consume content. That's why a lot of the stuff just gets lost in the sauce, right? Because we can make so much content.
Yeah, and
Um,
now to get those captions really easily, just go to CapCut.
yeah.
Literally, it's a push of a button to get those captions on there. So just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, it's really great. Um, Obviously, you want to make your navigation really clear, descriptive links, just less is always more. And prioritize those accessibility features, especially if it's for mobile. Because that's why a lot of people have mobile first. Now, I don't really subscribe to that. I subscribe to where is the target audience at and what are they viewing on, and that kind of dictates the overall design and how good it performs mobily. Um, but the accessibility features are going to get you in trouble. So if you're more of like a public facing company and you have a lot of clients, making sure they're all included is super important. Um, Use simple buttons, make sure they're easy to find, add closed captions. We talked about that.
Mm.
And if you have videos, you can even add let me see. We already said that. Check your website by. That's another thing. You can go to your website and check it, and you can kind of view it on all sorts of different platforms. But what I love about it is, you can do an audit on it and get the experience from someone who can't see or hear, for example.
Yeah.
And then you can fix anything that's hard to use. And anyway, so all this stuff, I feel like ADA compliance. And I kind of consider it like it's not exactly like, and here's another thing. It's not on or off. There's degrees of compliance. So if you have a lot of the stuff in place and you get in trouble for maybe not doing one thing, you're not going to get slapped as hard as if you've taken no precautions or you haven't done anything in order to make the experience inclusive for everyone. Based on and data privacy is huge, and I don't exactly know. Did Google backpedal off of getting rid of cookies in the future? I can't remember what their final vote was.
So I think they backtracked on that, and they did not
Yeah,
want to continue with that. I think maybe until 2026, but again, I don't know. Who knows with
yeah.
Google? They're in the process of like removing key dates on their calendar and renaming bodies of water right now. I don't
All
think
right.
they're really like in the mood to do like
Yeah, Revolve
compliance
of
things.
America. Hillary Clinton's my hero this week. I saw that her. If that, I hope that was her in real time and not just like I just assume everything's fake now, but I loved it when she laughed when that was announced. I thought it was the greatest thing.
That's amazing.
Like of all the important shit we've got to do, that's not one of them. But anyway,
Right?
it
Seriously.
turns out that Google did announce this in 2020, but it wasn't until last year that it really started to kind of get worrisome. But apparently, they pushed back the deadline multiple times. Now they're saying it's 2025, but
Mm,
as of now, they haven't decided to phase out the third-party cookies. So instead, they're going to prompt users to choose how they want to be tracked, and based off of that, they're probably just gathering research to see if it's even worthwhile.
huh. Yeah. Interesting.
So once again, Google's on the fence. I mean, I've seen so much shit come and
Always.
go from Google, but that's just, innovation, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm
So
trying to lean into. I mean, I use Google ecosystem so much. I just wish there was a comparable. You know what I mean? Like, can
yeah,
Firefox come out with a comparable?
I don't. I just like all the profiles, and I'm locked in. It'd be a pain in the
Yeah.
butt. And I like, yeah. So let's talk about some companies who, well, they got sued.
Uh oh.
Bigger
Okay.
companies too. So we have Beyonce's Parkwood Entertainment in 2019. A class action lawsuit was filed against Parkwood Entertainment, the company owned by pop star Beyonce, alleging that the company's website was not accessible to visually impaired users.
Oh, snap.
So, yeah,
Mm-mm.
so they settled and the amount is undisclosed. But they're
Wow.
saying it's millions. They're saying it's millions. Domino's Pizza, 2016. A blind man filed a lawsuit. The company's website and mobile app were not accessible to people with disabilities. And again, that's what I meant by like large public company, right? Like they serve
Yeah,
the masses and they need to include the masses.
for sure.
Harvard and MIT, the National Association of the Deaf filed a lawsuit against Harvard in 2015, alleging that the university's online courses did not provide adequate closing captioning for deaf and hard of hearing students. That
Ooh.
settled for about 750,000.
Damn. See,
Netflix.
if you do not, if you are not compliant, that is gonna cost you money. That is the basic learning lesson learned right there. Honestly,
Yeah.
seven
Yep.
hundred. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Guess what? Target 6 million. 6 million for Target.
Yeah, well, they can eat it anyway. Whatever, Target.
Yeah, it's the National Federation of the Blind went after them.
Good, good.
H&R
Serves them
Block.
right.
Yeah, H&R Block, 1.2 million. Five Guys Burger. They're not disclosing the amount. It was not public.
Yeah.
Winn-Dixie, 6 million in damages. Company's website was not accessible to visually impaired users.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, the audit, like you were saying, is really key here. See how bad it is, monitor your website, keep up with the terms, and you're going to be all right, kids.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, that is bonkers. That is so, that's so scary. That makes me so scared.
I know, I know. Well, you hand coded your website, you're probably cool. But a lot of the stuff,
Yeah.
we don't change the defaults because it's an overwhelming amount of information. But
Mm,
that's why we have to take our time. What is that? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast or something.
yes. And that's why I'm not a big like my websites are very clean and minimal
Mhm. Yeah.
for a reason. I feel like over, doing the moving visuals or, weird gradient colors, or I just think that it's not that those really complex websites seem to have the most compliance problems.
Oh, yeah. My website's probably a hotbed for, no, I don't know. Actually, I'm pretty good about that. But
Go do
still,
your audit, lady.
yeah, I'm gonna do my audit. I have this fancy gradients and well, we
Yes.
actually turn off the animation for performance, but
Yeah.
in my heart, things move.
Yeah.
And by the way,
So,
again, performance is key too, guys. I mean, yeah. And
yeah.
that's what's great about your websites, how they're blazing fast because they're not pulling in all that information,
That's right, dude.
all that
I am
stuff.
all about that bounce rate.
My bounce rate's a little it's bouncy. All
Oh my
right.
god. So you went over so the top 8 ADA website compliant lawsuits was your news notifications for today, yeah?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Awesome. Now,
Oh my God,
my
I
news
just read yours. Okay,
notification.
go.
Oh
Oh
my
no,
god.
that's oh my God, what?
Oh
Okay,
my
go.
god. Oh my god. Okay. So
Okay.
Elon Musk. I wish I had like I don't know, a buzzer or a like whack. I don't know. He's so wacky.
Voldemort. Become
Elon
Voldemort.
is trying to bid to buy out OpenAI for $97.4 billion. And now Sam Altman turned around and was like, no, 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 no. You're not going to buy OpenAI. We're going to buy Twitter. So they're kind of having like a big swinging contest
Yeah,
the
I get
moment,
that.
having a little pissing contest over there. So yeah, I just find it interesting when tech bros go after each other, and it's hilarious. And yeah, it's such fodder for the masses. I just keep your eye on the prize, everybody. I think that's the main lesson in that news story. And then next week, I changed next week's, Jane.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
So next week, dark mode, we're going to talk about the art of marketing and how art is used in marketing. how it's been used in history. Because Jane, that book that I have about all those artists in, the 1920s or whenever World War II was, I just thought that was a really interesting book. So I think maybe we should talk about the history of art in marketing and how art makes you stand out in the world of marketing. So
Okay, then.
I think that's next week's. And then the week after that, we will do Dark Mode Marketing Money Pit, why most marketing is a waste of money. So, I mean, not our marketing services. Our marketing services are never a waste of money, but a lot of the time you find somebody kind of is sometimes. Okay, Jane. Well, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We record live every Tuesday here on Clubhouse at 12 p.m. EST, 9 a.m. PST. And if you are looking for the replay, it should pop up within this house within, I don't know, maybe an hour. Or you can catch the replay on our podcast, which is darkmodelive.com, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you guys so much, and Dark Mode disabled.